Welcome back, Raider Nation and my champions, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at how Pro Football Focus ranked our defensive units much in the same way as our previous video with the offensive players. So let's get to it. And just like in the previous video, I'm going to be using what I call ciphers. And these are basically animated GIFs to show how I feel about the PFF rankings themselves. Now, I'll just briefly go over these again if you haven't seen the first video. Now, this is a guy who's very happy with himself, and I think I agree with this, and yeah, I absolutely enjoy that we're ranked that high. Now, here, I agree with it. I don't really have a whole lot of emotion behind it. And then here we have Steve Carell. Yes, I agree with the rankings, and I'm not too happy about it because the players probably suck. Here, I put Just You Wait. I think they might be undervaluing a guy, just like I did in the previous video with Foster Moreau because he was underutilized, or other reasoning behind it. I'll explain as I go. Keenan Thompson here in SNL. Are you sure? I'm looking at the rankings. It just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me where you put the guy. And then right here with Denzel shutting the door on the guy, basically, you know, this is, you know, your ranking is so terrible, you just got to get the F out. We're first going to talk about defensive tackles. They call it interior defender rankings. So they took the top 32 in the entire league and ranked them out. Given, I've talked about this before, that, you know, feels like we're basically just kind of throwing shit up against the wall in this area and seeing what sticks. It didn't really surprise me that we didn't have any players ranked in the top 32. We probably shouldn't, to be honest. Now, I did make a video out in January as far as free agents I would have liked to have gotten, and a couple of those guys were ranked. Leonard Williams was ranked 9th. I think that's probably a little low, to be honest. And then Dalvin Tomlinson was ranked 17th. Probably about right, given that, you know, there might be some concerns, you know, going to Minnesota, not having the similar type cast that he had around him, you know, his statistics might wane a little bit. Next up is edge rusher. We actually had two guys make the top 32 list. And first one we're talking about is Yannick Ngakoue. He actually ranked out as 24th on their list. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, are you sure about that? I think that's a little bit low. One of the sentences in the description here really kind of struck a chord with me, and that is Yannick just hasn't quite got back to the dominance he flashed in 2017. Now, I did make a video about Yannick Ngakoue when he signed him up off free agency, and I put a pretty pertinent stat here, and I kind of compared his pass rushing type stats to the leaders on the team of the Raiders in those individual years. Now, you can kind of see he did better than the Raiders. I said that before. I mean, Raiders defenses haven't been that great, so that's not a huge thing to talk about, but still, he had 12 sacks in that 2017 year, but he really hasn't waned off. A slight step down, but that was just one year he had the 12 sacks, but he hasn't had a season where he's had under 8 sacks, and we're not even talking about the hits, the pressures. I really think they kind of undervalued him here. The next guy we want to talk about is Cleve Farrell, who actually ended up rounding out the list at 32nd. And I'm kind of okay with that. They kind of put it together as not just edge rushing itself, rushing the passer, but kind of all around. They actually put some 3-4 outside linebackers on the list as well, you know, especially, you know, with Yannick. And there were a few other guys in there as well. But I'm okay with this as far as the ranking goes. The one sentence that kind of bothered me here was that he's trending in the opposite direction of fellow draftee Max Crosby, and they kind of took a hit on Max Crosby here, who I want to talk about next. Yeah, so as far as Max Crosby being overlooked on this list, being unranked, I definitely got to shut the door on it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'll pull up the stats right now, and you can see, compared to Yannick in the last 2 seasons, he actually has more sacks and more QB hits than Yannick, and you could argue that he was playing with less talented supporting cast here, Max Crosby is. And also, don't forget that he played last year with a torn labrum in his shoulder. So, I mean, he still got 7 sacks. This is absolutely ridiculous from PFF. Now we want to talk about the linebacking core. We're going to first talk about Nick Kwiatkowski, who was actually ranked 24th. And, you know, I'm happy with that. kind of makes sense. I think he's a great middle linebacker. You have to keep in mind that the article lumped all linebackers together, inside and out. So, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, maybe that's even a little bit high overall. I would put him around a top 10 inside linebacker. But I'm fine with that. It's not a big issue with me. The other one that they ranked was Corey Littleton, and he actually came in at 22nd. You know, and I gotta call this out. You know, are you sure? Honestly, this doesn't make any sense, and it doesn't make any sense from the other way around. It seems like they're kind of giving him a lot of the benefit of the doubt. He played terribly last year, comparably to his seasons with the Rams. And I'm going to give you another example. A guy, Devin White, who I thought we should have picked over Cleve Farrell in the draft. He came in his second year, and he kind of went gangbusters last year. He got 9 sacks. He has led. They put a stat in there. He was in the article as well. And they put a stat in there saying that since he's been in the league the last 2 seasons, he has led the league in tackles for loss. And not to mention, he had a huge postseason en route for the Bucs winning the Super Bowl, and he was ranked 25th under Corey Littleton. Absolute crime there, in my opinion. Now let's talk about cornerback. And we actually had one player ranked in the top 32, and that is recently acquired Casey Hayward, formerly of Los Angeles Chargers. And they put him at 32nd, and I'm okay with that. I think it was a great move for us, since he can play inside and out if we need him to. If Arnett or Mullen kind of flop, and obviously the rumors are that he's going to be starting on the outside week 1. I'm not so sure about that. We'll see as that plays out, but I'm not a problem with that. He did not have a great year last year, but I think he could strive this year with the Raiders in this defense. We're going to round this out at the safety position, and it's no surprise that we didn't have any players ranked in the top 32 in the PFF article. It was one of our biggest areas of need. We addressed it in the draft with Merrick and Gillespie. At the free safety position, we brought back Carl Joseph at the strong safety. It's well known that Abram is a very intense player. He needs to kind of turn it down a few notches and play a little bit better overall. Now, I did mention in my article about getting some free agents back in January. Unfortunately, the guys I wanted, Justin Simmons, who was ranked number 1 on the list, and Marcus May from the Jets, who was ranked number 7. Both those guys were franchise tagged and unavailable. So it's obvious. It makes sense. I don't have a problem with none of our guys making the list. Now, there's one other thing I want to mention, and that is we will be going live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11:10 Central. We're going to be talking about the minicamp that happened this week, some positional battles, and some other news that has happened since our last live stream a couple of weeks ago. It's fun. It's interactive. I encourage you to come out and participate. And if you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to give it a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Put your comments in the section below. I read every comment. I reply to most comments. Thank you for watching and supporting this channel. And as always, go Raiders.